Hello, and welcome to Wine with Weeda, the podcast that is dedicated to engaging with health professionals and caregivers in meaningful discussions. I'm your host, Rita Shamoon, or as my clients call me, Weeda. I'm a pediatric speech pathologist, and I am so excited to have you here. Each week, we deep dive into connecting you with caregivers and healthcare professionals, sharing their insights, stories, and key takeaways to help you with your child's diagnosis and your journey. Whether you are a parent, healthcare professional, a lifetime learner, or simply a wine enthusiast, you're in the right place. So let's sit back and relax and enjoy today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to Wine with Weeda, a space for honest conversations and real connection. Today, I'm joined by Taylah Ayyash, a health advocate who shares her lived experience with Bell's palsy, Ramsay Hunt syndrome, and temporary paralysis, and also anaphylaxis. Her life changed suddenly through illness, and those experiences reshaped how she views vulnerability, strength, and asking for help. Taylah is now completing a Bachelor of Counselling, turning her own experiences into a way of supporting others and reminding people that they're not alone. Taylah, welcome to Wine with Weeda.
Thank you so much for having me on. So excited to do this with you.
Taylah, I just love our story, how you saw me, was it FYP? Is that what it was?
For you
Follow your
page.
page. Follow your page. So FYP is a section on social media that it recommends who you should follow. Actually, Taylah, you share the story. You say
Yeah.
how we
So
connected.
I first posted up my story, the video that I had, one of my first posts explaining what I'd gone through. And then I'd closed down Instagram and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna look at it. And then I had reopened Instagram and one of your videos had popped up. I was like, oh,
Do you
let me
remember what
check
video it
this.
was?
No, I can't remember what
Oh,
video it was, but you were like
sorry.
interviewing someone. And I was like, let me just check her page. And I remember going through your page and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. I'd love to just one day just sit with her and just have a conversation. And I can't believe it. Like months later, you reached out and I was
Yeah.
like, yes, I couldn't say no. I was like, I can't believe this is
Yeah.
happening. It was
You
such a
commented,
beautiful, like full circle moment.
I know, you commented on Daniela Park's episode. So Daniela's episode was released in 2025 and she has dyslexia. And you left her a beautiful comment. I'm like, and I always look at the people that comment to know, okay,
Yeah.
are they robots or are they genuine followers? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, this girl's quite young and she's lived a life more than 70-year-old people have.
Yes.
She's changed her life. She's advocating. I'm like, what a beautiful person to celebrate her life and a resemblance of what adversity and resilience is all about. And we're here. We're here now
We're
on Wine
here.
with
We're
Wade.
here to talk
We're
about it.
here. We're here,
We're
which is
ready to
beautiful.
talk about it. Yes.
So to start off, tell the listeners about who you are and what led you to the work that you do today.
Of course. So my name is Taylah Ayyash. I'm 25 years old. I was born at 26 weeks, so I'm a twin. So we were
That's
very
very preemie.
little.
Mm.
We were preemie. We were very small. So from the day I was born, I always believed I was a fighter. You know. And then when I was 2, I was diagnosed with anaphylaxis. And then navigating all of that was really challenging at such a young age. You grow the fear of like going to places and food and making sure like nothing's around that you once you touch something it's going to affect you. And then in 2019 I was diagnosed with epilepsy, so non-absent seizures. And then in 2022 I had Bell's palsy and Ramsay Hunt, which is very rare to have together. So half my face was paralyzed my first year of college. And then in 2023, I injected an EpiPen and then experienced temporary paralysis on my right leg.
Wow.
And then leading me to where I wanted to advocate. I remember it was my last anaphylactic reaction that I had just experienced back in 2024, 25, sorry. And I remember just laying in hospital and being like, you know what, I need to advocate for other people, because I went through like a really challenging time throughout that period. Um, and I was like, if I can overcome this battle, I feel like someone else needs to be out there and just speaking about it and advocating with everything that I've gone through, because it can be very lonely, it can be very
Yeah.
isolating. You can have so much support around you, but at the end of the day, it's yourself and your thoughts, and it is what you're going through personally, internally, and like very emotionally and mentally. Because you can look good on the outside, but also in the inside, you're just like fighting a little battle, you know.
Yeah.
So I just wanted people my age as well to just feel like they're not alone.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that vulnerability. All I could think of are two elements. As a
Yes.
2-year-old,
Hmm.
your poor parents would have gone through quite a shock to your initial reaction, and knowing how to navigate that for such a young age, when normally or typically 2-year-olds are causing a muck, playing, running around. I
Yes.
want to know how your parents were in that moment, and then I want to ask about the silent seizures part after.
Yeah. So with my anaphylaxis, um they found out when I had a biscuit at my auntie's house. It
What
was
kind of
sesame.
biscuit?
You know,
Can
like
I just say, being from a Middle Eastern Arab culture, there are nuts everywhere. So you're
yes. So
bound to get it early.
like the sesame biscuits.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One of those, and it was like mixed in with the Arnott's biscuits. So I grabbed like an Arnott biscuit and I started eating it, and because it was cross contaminated, my
Mm,
I started swelling up and I couldn't breathe. So obviously, like my mum was panicking at the time. My mum was there, my auntie. She rushed me straight to the hospital, and they had found out I had anaphylaxis. But I think now I've seeing my parents and navigating that on their perspective, I saw a lot of fear within them as well, you know, as a child.
mm,
Like, make sure you don't touch this and you don't touch that. And,
absolutely.
you're going to like gatherings, and Middle Easterns, we have a lot of like sesame and peanuts in our
Nuts in a lot of
foods,
dishes. Yeah,
in our
yeah.
dishes, and in our dips. So it's just being very alert and constantly like on edge. And then
Mm,
as an individual yourself, you also grow that fear. But for my parents, it was very challenging.
yeah.
For
And I
sure.
think being a mum myself and knowing that you're a preemie, there's already that fear that you could have passed away, God forbid, at a young age, and you survived, and you're at
Mm.
2, and then your parents are now faced with another challenging moment for you. Like, and I just feel for them how much
Yeah.
they would have just done for you.
Yes.
What superheroes are how I would see that they're just superheroes just to continually guide you through to the next
Yes.
phase.
And
Yeah, continue.
like also like I think it's hard as well for a parent to just witness your child go through
Yeah.
an anaphylactic reaction and not knowing that like uncertainty of what's going to happen next. You
Were you
start
the
to think of
first one in your family to go through this? Like, are there other family members that, yeah, Anna, yeah.
yeah, I am. Yeah.
Mm,
So it was very new
quite
to everyone.
foreign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was really challenging for them.
Wow. Now, before we started this interview, we were off air, and you said something that a lot of people or teaching staff would tell your parents: she gets easily distracted, she doesn't concentrate, she doesn't focus. Talk to me about that
Yeah.
before the epilepsy was diagnosed.
Yeah. So growing up in school, well, I like really struggled a lot.
Mm,
I had a lot of like learning disabilities as well. So
mm,
teachers were always like, she's off with the fairies, she's distracted, she gets easily distracted, she's just zoning out, looking outside the window. No one knew what it was. We had no clue. No one looked into it. Um, so I did struggle a lot throughout school, because we had also found out through my diagnosis, absent seizures is actually childhood epilepsy.
mm.
So when I was diagnosed at 18, it was a big shock,
Yeah.
and I was in a car when I had the seizure with my instructor, and I nearly had an accident at that point. So that's how we led to that. But it
Wow.
was very fascinating to just, I don't know, I think just sit there and just think my whole years like at school struggling, there was an underlying issue behind it.
I think that's such a powerful message to any educator or teaching staff. Don't judge a behavior by
Yeah.
its cover. So you
Yeah.
displayed symptoms or characteristics of just looking outside, getting distracted. And we sometimes think that child isn't paying attention or they're naughty. But in your case, you were having a silent seizure. So
Yeah.
rather than assuming based off a behavior, ask why and encourage the parents, actually, even empower the parents to further investigate how we can help this child learn more
Yep.
effectively in the classroom
100.
environment. Because that would have been a massive turning point if they said, we're thinking this, can we look, go to
Yes.
the pediatrician and further investigate this? Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think it could have been, caught earlier, but that is, yeah, that's a really powerful message, to
Yeah.
educators as well. Don't really judge because I was very much so, judged growing
Mm,
up. And my
mm,
mum always
mm.
heard like in teacher interviews, easily
Yeah.
distracted, she's not concentrating. Um, yeah, so I think it is very important for educators to just look deeper into it for
Yeah.
sure.
You said two milestones, your 18th birthday and your early teens. Now, reflecting back to my time, it
Mm.
was clubbing, going out with the
Mhm.
friends, you know, that early fun. I don't, this is a very long time ago.
Right.
I want to know what that was like for you when there are times that you really wanted to participate with your social, in your group circle, but you just couldn't. What was
Yeah,
that like for you?
that was very like isolating
Mm,
at that time, um, because you see you're going out with your cousins and your family, but you're
mm,
also on heavy medication
yeah.
that just like throws you off completely. Like you're just tired, you can't get out of bed. And there were days where I was like, okay, maybe I could go. And then there were other days where I was like, no, I can't even push myself to go. So you miss out on that experience with your early, being a teenager and going through your early 20s as well.
Mm,
I did miss out on a lot throughout that time because medication does play a lot with you with your side effects, and I think navigating that was really hard for sure.
yeah. Yeah. What was your support network like for you at that point?
It was good. It was beautiful. My family and my friends, I had really strong support, but doctors and like neurologists were quite hard to navigate at that time because they didn't
Yeah.
know what was happening. But no, my support network, like my family, were very, very supportive throughout
Yeah.
that time.
On Wine with Weeda, I like to talk about the moments of isolation when there's a diagnosis because you really generally see who shows up for you. And I think the best testament to any relationship or friendship is those who stand by you when it's your hardest point in life, not when you're celebrating, because it's those people that understand your vulnerability, understand your weaknesses, but are there to lift you as opposed to celebrating with you. What was that turning point for you when you had those moments? How did that change your perspective to empower you to keep going?
It was very like very motivating as well.
Mm,
Like you really see who's around at those
yeah.
times. Like you see who's next to you, who's gonna push
Mm.
you, who's gonna be there, who's gonna be a shoulder to cry on. I have a very interesting story.
Feel
Um,
free
my
to
fr-
share.
my best friend, when I had my leg paralysis, at the time she was my supervisor, and
Oh,
yeah, she was my supervisor at work, and I had only known her for like 4 months. And when I had gone to hospital, she had messaged me. She's like, "Hey, I really want to visit you," and me thinking like, "Oh, okay, my supervisor's coming.
yeah.
She's doing like
Embarrassing.
oh my god, she's gonna see me in the hospital. my foot's looking horrible. I don't know what she's
Quick,
coming
lip
for,
gloss.
right? and, and her coming was just her out of her love and her care to just be like, hey, I'm here for you. And 3 years later, she's still by my side, and she became a very close friend, and she really did help me throughout that time of my leg paralysis. Like, she lifted me up, and we were going out when I had to learn how to walk. We'd go out to the city and we'd walk around, Sydney. And after college, I'd go and she'd meet me in the station. So when you have that and you've got support next to you and you've got that really strong support system, I think it also motivates you a lot more to work on yourself and focus on your health and not be so, there's nothing pushing you, but there's also people behind you that are really supporting you, throughout that time.
That's really beautiful. I
Yeah.
believe this friend is like an angel for you as well. Like
Yeah.
she lifted you off your feet, literally.
Yes. And I'd only known her for 4 months, and she came out of nowhere. And from then, she's just become my best friend, very close.
Yeah. I think it reinforces quality over quantity. And
100%.
friendship isn't measured on the time that you've known them, but more on the moments that they're there. You're there for
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. 150%. I agree with that.
Mm.
But then also support, I really also think of like my medical team, my healthcare team.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that because no one really talks about the team as much. It's all more the family, friendship. But even as myself as a speech pathologist, yes, I help children to talk, which is my role. But 90% of the other percentage of the role is to support parents and say, I'm walking with you. It's scary. I'm here with you. And I feel not necessarily obligated, but it's my duty to guide them to the next phase of their intervention.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, when I look at support, yes, you do look at family and you look at your friends. But for me,
Mm.
I'm very strong with my medical team, my neurologist that really was like, hey, I know it's hard. I know it's really difficult right now, but I promise you we're going to get through it. And she'd always tell me, like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. That was something
Yeah.
she'd always say to me. And I'd never believe it. But then it's like that little hope where I'm like, okay, you know what? She's got me. I know we're going through this. We're going to go through this together. We're going to walk through this journey. And she was always really there. And I'm very, very grateful for her. And as well as like my therapist as well. I think going to therapy
Mm.
and knowing that you also have someone, and just seeing the impact of what a professional can do for you,
Mm.
for sure. That's just, when I think of support, I think of them because they
Yeah.
also motivate and uplift you. And it's not only like them looking at you as a case, but also as a human and wanting
Yeah.
to walk next to you and be there and guide you. Because I have been through that road where a lot of doctors just looked at me as a case and never took me serious because of my age. And
Mm.
I saw that. And seeing who I have now with my therapist and my neurologist, they really treat me as like a whole being and not just someone they just have to deal with. It's like, hey, I'm with you. We're gonna get through it. Like, I got
Yeah.
you. And it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Like, I think
It's
of them,
beautiful.
they're like a true gift in my life, for
Yeah.
sure.
What's that saying? God doesn't put people in front of you for no reason. Like they're there to, but you're there to be of service to them. Like He's put them there. You're teaching them something,
Yeah.
but they're also teaching you and guiding you because He knows you need them now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think, like, last year I had a bit of a rough year, but yeah, having them really uplifted me for sure and helped me through it.
Yeah. Love that.
They're
It's
just
so
great
special.
support.
Taylor, throughout this whole conversation, you're speaking so openly about vulnerability. And I think when I look back to our culture, Middle
Mm-hmm.
Eastern Arabic culture, vulnerability is taboo.
Yep.
It's shame. It's not spoken enough because it's like a indirect way. You can't show your negativity or you can't show your vulnerability because it shows a side that people would judge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you cope with that? And how did you get so comfortable with your vulnerability, which has led you to where you are now?
It was very hard.
Yeah.
I was the type to just be like, it's all good. Like, I could be on the worst situation. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, no, it's all
It's like you
fine. Like, it's
deny it.
good.
You deny it
Yeah.
and you say,
Like,
no, 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 I'm
stripped of
fine.
my,
I'm fine.
yes. Yeah, like,
But
I'm
really,
so good. Like, I'm deep
but I'm
down.
crying.
I'm like crying. Like, I'm really not fine, but I'm fine. It's all good. Don't worry about me. um, but yeah, coming from like a Middle Eastern culture, it's very, it's hard. It's hard. You have to um, really show up that front, and I think I got very used to that. But I think now that what I've gone through, I've realized that there's no shame behind it. There's absolutely no shame. There's always going to be someone that's just, I think, I think of myself when I was like in hospital trying to find a person that had gone through
Mm,
something similar. Um, so I just think about it in a way of maybe I'm meant to be where I'm at. I've gone through what I've gone through to be that person for someone else. There's no shame
mm,
behind it. I'm really not shamed about how I looked when I had Bell's palsy or
mm.
my first steps of walking when I was paralyzed. Like there was, I yeah, I don't have any shame, but I love to be vulnerable and share my story because I know for someone else, there's someone out there that really needs to hear it, and to just know they're not alone, for sure.
Agree. Agree. Not long ago, I interviewed Brody Kelly. He has cerebral palsy. Sorry, excuse me. He doesn't have cerebral palsy. He's paraplegic and he's lost a lot of motor control. And in the
Mhm.
interview, he said something that I'll never forget. He said, Rita, most people out there are changing. And when I say changing, physically changing who they are.
Yeah.
So why should I change who I am if that's the way that I'm meant to be?
Yes.
And as you were saying, I had Bell palsy and I had no shame because that's your own lived experience. And that's what's going to shape you to the wonderful woman that you are. Why hide behind that? Because so many people are hiding behind different color hair. They're getting face alterations because they want to hide a part of them. But why not celebrate who
Yeah.
you are and who you're meant to be?
Yeah. At the time, I'd be honest. At the time, it was very hard because it was
Mm,
very new to me because I
yeah,
couldn't even look at myself in the mirror at that point.
be
But it was
confronting.
like it was very confronting. Um, but over time, I then looked at the photo and then I saw that bit of strength that I had,
Mm,
and there's no shame behind it for sure. And now that it's like reoccurring, I don't really it doesn't bother me how I look now because
yeah.
it comes up at when everything there's like stress. The Bell's palsy will come back. So now
Mm.
I'm just like, oh, whatever, it's fine. It's all good. It's part of my story. It's part of
I
how I
know.
am. Yeah.
Do you do physiotherapy, like face therapy?
Yeah, I did a lot of that when I
Yeah.
had Bell's palsy, and I also did acupuncture. There's a lot
Yeah,
of
you do
acupuncture.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
a lot of
see, there are
acupuncture.
services out there, just about
Yeah,
exploring.
100%. And I remember the first time I felt the needles, I was like, "What's this feeling?" And then the doctor's like, "Oh, you've got sensation. This is a good sign." I was like, "Oh,
Whereas before they'll
okay."
poke your face and you wouldn't
Yeah,
even react.
I wouldn't react. He goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I can feel something really sharp." He goes, "Oh, Taylor, this is a good sign." I was like, "Okay,
I'll just
good."
poke you a bit more.
He was poking me all here, and I was like, "Okay, when is this gonna end?" He goes, "No, no, it's good that you're feeling. It's fine."
Oh. So let's talk about now you're sitting in your hospital bed and
Mm.
you're making this conscious decision to create change because you felt isolated. You had no resource to reference to be empowered. And that is, firstly, can I say, that is such a strong skill to have yourself, to find your own intrinsic motivation that I want to motivate myself because no one else would. You're in that hospital bed. What was that turning point that made you make the decision, I want to help people, particularly within counseling?
Ah, counseling, yes. Um, it was very, very emotional at that time
Mm,
um, because I just remembered everything that I had gone through. But it was also like, there's people out there that are also suffering the same way as I
mm,
am. And I would love to just, once I overcome this situation, this moment that I'm going through at the moment with anaphylaxis, um, I would love to also be a speaker for other people that have gone through it because it is very isolating.
mm.
You're in your mind a lot. You're in your mind a lot after a reaction,
Can
especially.
you talk about that? Like, if do you feel comfortable talking about what goes through your mind? Because we sit here and we say it's isolating, we feel alone, but it's what's in here that
Yeah.
can either break you or make you.
Yeah. Yeah. So
What was that like?
when I had the reaction in 2024, sorry, in 2024 when I had the reaction in December, it was a very big. I had sesame at the time. I had, the Arabic, around Christmas they make. In Arabic we call it cake.
Gark, yeah.
Yeah,
Which one, the long
yeah.
one?
No, the round one.
Oh,
Is it a
yeah, the
round one?
round one. We have that at
The round
Easter
one. Oh no,
because
we
in
do
the
that in Christmas. We do a bit of
oh,
both.
I've never we always do it because it's circular and it's like the
Yeah,
resemblance of
it's got the dates inside.
or ma'mul.
No, it was cake. Or
Okay,
maybe Matul.
either way.
Cake.
So
Either
for
way,
anyone
it
that
was
doesn't know
one of
what
it.
these biscuits are, they're delicious.
They're
Go to your
so
Middle
good,
Eastern
trust.
dessert. They're
Yes.
round, just there's sesame. So make sure you don't have allergies, so you don't go through what Taylor went through. But hey, let's get this
Hey,
sponsored by
can
what
I
is it?
just say, like,
Samir Abla,
C
whatever that
sweets.
place is. See sweet.
C sweets. Hey, sponsor us. I promise it's delicious. So
Just no sesame.
just no sesame. This cake had, sesame inside of it. So no one knew. And
Did
poor thing, my
someone
auntie
make
had,
it or did you buy
yes.
it?
No, my auntie had made it.
Oh,
And
my
poor
poor
thing,
darling. She would have been devastated.
yes. So she didn't, she had given it to my other auntie and she had no clue there was sesame inside. And because it's like inside the actual biscuit, you couldn't see it.
No, it's not
So
like because
I'm
normally we
sitting there.
surface set up the top. Yeah.
Yes. So this was inside the biscuit. And I'm eating it. I had two. It was delicious. I was like, oh, this is so
It's so
good.
yum, with a
It's so,
good cup of
like,
tea.
I know it was bad reaction, but I have to say it was a bit worth it.
We
I
don't
was
want to
like, you know
say that
what?
on here.
It was delicious. It was delicious. But then I ended up feeling really itchy in my throat. I was like, okay, I don't feel right. Like something's going on.
Yeah.
And I was very in denial of it because I'm like, we never make sesame with our cake. And it was a very big shock because a year before that, I had my paralysis from the EpiPen.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you
So
weren't
now
were you scared to have the EpiPen in that moment?
I was very scared. I was freaking out.
Yeah.
I had a new
Like
injection.
trauma.
Yeah,
Mm.
I had a new injection. I had no clue um, how to use it. It was a new injector that they had given me. And, the doctor had gone through it and I was like, yeah, easy. But coming in that moment, I just went completely blank. I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
Were you
I
alone at
thought,
that time?
no, I had family. I had
Okay.
everyone around me. I had family around me. I was at my auntie's house. I remember running to his bed, running to my cousin's bed, and I laid down. And I'm looking at my leg, and I was like, okay. And I'm praying. I said, God, whatever happens now, I'm just leaving it in your hands. And
Yeah.
I had turned to the side, and I had so much fear in injecting. But then I was like, it's okay. Like, you got it. It's fine. You can do this. Obviously, you're saving yourself because you don't want things to get worse. And sesame for me is like the worst. It's like poison in my body.
Yeah.
It's the worst allergy that I have. So injecting that was very confronting. It was really hard. But I remember the paramedic. They had three paramedics, and there were two on scene, and they had touched my arm, and he looked at me. Everyone had walked out, and he had all the vitals. He's checking the vitals, and he had the ECG on. And I remember he looked at me, and I had tears in my eyes. He goes, "Taylor, this is a miracle that you're alive." And I looked at him, and I was like, "Josh, like, come on, anything can happen now." And he goes, "No, this is a miracle. Everything's looking good. You're safe. Like, you're good." He goes,
Mm.
"You'll be okay." And I remember just praying in that moment. Like, I'm very heavy into my faith.
Yeah.
So I was praying a lot in that moment. But then also therapy helped me a lot throughout
Yeah.
that time, in that moment, to know how to center myself and ground myself. And I remember just going back into that. I visualized this moment that I had with my therapist where she had taught me how to do this certain type of belly breathing.
Mm.
And I had remembered she had drew out a square and she had like these numbers around it. And I remember her saying, "Hey, let's breathe together. We got this." And I just had that moment replaying. And I think it's so important, for me I have gone through such a traumatic experience with an EpiPen to re-inject it a year later. The one thing that grounded me was my faith and, my moment that I had with my therapist. And I think
Yeah.
that really helped me a lot.
All I could visualize in that moment, all the family around being quite incredibly concerned, and the
Right?
loudness in their voice, the panic. And
Yes.
have you heard of that concept, energy transfer? Yeah. So
Yeah.
if someone else is
Yep.
panicking, you're going to panic. So
Yep.
you can just imagine how heightened the situation would have been, which could have impacted you. But it's
Hmm.
so powerful that you could just center yourself, reflect on the strategy your therapist taught you, and just simply pray. And
Yeah.
when we look at in moments what gets us by, the less is more. Yeah.
100%.
The less, yeah.
If I hadn't, um, gone to therapy, and if I didn't have my, the faith that I had, I remember myself like years ago. I panic. I usually go
Yeah.
through panic. I will panic, and if that was me, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I wouldn't have injected myself because I would have had that
Yeah.
fear of something's going to happen to my leg.
Mm.
But that was the very first time in my life that I was able to center myself. I remember my mum saying, "Taylor, you okay?" And I just had my eyes closed. I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay."
Wow.
Um, and I just felt like God was telling me, "Hey, you're going to be okay." And I just had that repeated in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really grounded me. I think it's so important when you know the
Yeah.
strategies that helps you in those moments. It's very powerful, very very powerful.
Taylor, if no one's ever told you, as a stranger to you, you are a beautiful human.
Thank
You're so young, and what you have endured is incredibly inspiring and incredibly motivating for my patients, parents listening, but for any young adult going through a hard time. And when we look at what should we be doing, should
you.
be going out, getting married, university, or whatever the path is that the world tells you to have. Follow what is true to you, follow
Mhm.
your own path, and
Yeah.
your faith will guide you to where it needs to be. And I feel your story is a wonderful testament to that. And I don't feel many adults that are living now haven't gone through what you've gone through and have the strength that you have too. So, firstly, congratulations on where you are now, and keep shining, because you are up for many remarkable things in your life. I can see it. I can see you doing a TED talk in the future.
I'll have you by my side. Thank you so much.
Just reflecting on wine with
This
Wida.
is my first podcast.
Next minute, you're interviewed by Oprah.
I'll have you there too, don't worry.
I'll be in the back. So you speak about sharing your story. What was that like
Yeah.
for you? Was there a lot of fear associated with that? Or again, you just went with your faith to guide you to it?
There was a bit of fear, but then I remember
Mm.
having a lot of faith into it. I remember the night before I was praying, and I was like, okay, I really want to share my story, but God, if this is the right thing for me to do,
Yes.
just give me a sign. Just give me something. If it's not, then I'm not gonna post anything. So I'm a
Yeah.
very private person. So for me to do this
Yes.
is very big.
Yes.
Um, and I prayed and I prayed on it that night. And all I like heard was, "Do not be afraid."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, don't be afraid." I'm
Mm.
saying this to myself, and I just felt like God was like, "Hey, like, do it. Don't be afraid because you have people that are waiting to hear your story."
Yeah.
And then the next morning, I had gone out for a walk, and I had opened up, had like this notification, like the Bible app.
Yes.
Had opened up the Bible app, and the passage was, "Do not be afraid." And I was like, "Okay, you know
Wow.
what?
That's a
I'm
sign.
gonna do it." And then
Yeah.
that night, I remember just like doing it. And then at the bottom of my little posts, I always have "Don't be afraid." So I
Wow.
think that was like one of the biggest signs that I had. I lent a lot into my faith for
I
it.
feel in the world where there's just so much noise, noise
Mhm.
from your own thoughts, noise from other people's opinions, noise from what we read and see, the silence is what tells you the answer. And I'm on to reflect on my own experience. There's a big presentation that I've been asked to do far more than what I've previously done. And can I say, I'm shit scared to do it. Like, I'm so petrified because it's foreign to me.
Yeah.
People say you can do it, but my head's saying, no, 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 don't do it, because
Yeah.
who are you? Who do you think you are? Like, that's what's in my head, right?
Yeah.
And as I went walking the other day, I honestly heard a song that reminded me of the event. And all I could visualize was our Lord just walking next to me as I'm thinking of this song. And then when I came home, I saw there's that photographer called Shayban Musa. Have you heard of him?
No,
Anyway,
I
he's a
haven't.
great photographer in
Yeah.
Sydney. And he posted this reel and it said, "This was given to you. This moment in time is given to you. You take it and learn from it, because someone less qualified than you will
Mm.
be offered the opportunity. Like, so why are you holding back?"
I
Right.
think back, yeah.
And I was like, yep, okay, I accepted it. So I just feel like if we just stop to listen and
Mm-hmm.
really intentionally focus on what your heart's telling you, not what your mind is telling you, the answer's there.
100%. You just got to really tune into that and really have
Yeah.
that silent space for you to really focus and um, listen deeply
Yeah.
and not just go with like that negative thought that's always in your mind. Because I had a lot of people tell me, Taylor, do it, share your story. And I was like, no, who am I to share my story? Like,
Mm,
everyone's gone through everything. And then it just came over with time that I really had that prayer with God, and just heard that, don't be afraid.
yeah, I
I did
love
it.
that. That's gonna be the
I,
title of this episode. Don't be
I did
afraid.
it.
I
That's
love
it.
it.
Don't
I
be
love it.
afraid.
You spoke about that friend that showed up at the hospital, your
Mhm.
supervisor. Have you
Yeah.
ever received a message or a moment that you'd realize your story is going to help someone else?
I did. I received a lot of messages once I started posting on social media, but there was one message that came, I think, from a parent that had told me, "Thank you so much for sharing. I now understand what my child's going through." On it, like a because children, you tend to think, you don't want to worry your parents.
Mm,
You're covered this mask of like, yeah, I'm good, I'm okay. But I remember that parent really reaching out and telling me like, thank you so much for sharing. I It's like an eye opener for what my child's been dealing with.
yeah.
And another girl had reached out. She had just had an anaphylactic reaction, and she came across one of my posts, and she's like, "Thank you so much. This made me feel less alone."
Oh, that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. So
That's beautiful. Isn't that
I
so
had
powerful though
moments,
for you?
had little moments like
Yeah.
that. Parents and young people reaching out, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. They're
Yeah.
like, "Thank you for sharing your story. So much hope and resilience behind it. It's inspiring."
It's incredibly inspiring. And without a doubt, your story will continually sparkle to so many individuals that will let them think differently, treat people differently, and show
Mhm.
up differently. So, thank you, Taylor, for being so vulnerable. I think vulnerability is the most beautiful thing a person can possess. So, I appreciate that sincerely. For anyone listening right now who is in their head, overthinking, currently going through challenges, not like yours specifically, but their own personal challenges. They're young, their friends are on TikTok or doing whatever the 25-year-olds do
Mhm.
and going through a hard chapter. What's something you want them to hear?
Um, there's no timeline for everything.
There's no timeline.
There's no timeline. So when you're looking at people that your age, and they're all going through, you get the marriages, you get the partners, you get the career, and the whole, everyone's just traveling, and you feel
Checklist.
like this whole checklist that you have to tick off, um, and
What
you're
is it? The
going through a hard
FOMO
time.
checklist? The FOMO
Is it?
checklist?
Is that what it's
I don't know,
called?
like your fear of
I don't
missing out,
know.
like, so you
Oh
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Go
Tick,
through
tick,
it.
tick, tick.
Tick, tick, tick. I know I haven't ticked one thing, but it's okay.
Let's
We're
reframe
going
that. I
through.
haven't reticked one thing yet.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I'd say, there's no timeline. Don't rush it. Take your time, rest, get the help that you need. Um, there is going to be a time where it comes to you, like your time will happen. And seek the help as well, professionally as well, because it does help a lot. It really does help a lot. And don't fall into the trap of your mind when it's telling you negative things. Don't look online. Don't be so obsessive over other people's, timelines, and you're looking at yourself and you're like, I haven't, achieved this and I haven't achieved that. I think everyone's just got a time for when their time's going to come, for sure. So don't rush it. Do not rush it. You'll have your time.
That's so
Your time
true.
will come. Your
Your
time will
time will
come.
come and there's no need to rush. And don't be afraid, like what you
Don't
said.
be
Don't be
afraid.
afraid.
Don't be
Yeah.
afraid. There's no
Taylah,
timeline to it.
no. What a beautiful 360 moment to you looking on my page, to me feeling drawn to interview you, and to creating this episode has been so magical, symbolic, and a representation of what I embody through my podcast, but what your now journey is all about and what it will continue to be. And I feel like it's such a special episode where anyone listening will feel so positively reinforced after listening. It was really optimistic and reinforces faith, inner belief, and the gorgeous beauty of vulnerability. Taylah, as I finish up the episode, I tell all my guests, if you were to be a better version of yourself tomorrow, what word will you apply to yourself today?
Oh, I love that. I think
That
you
makes
can
you
do this.
thinking.
Yeah, you caught me off guard with that
The
one.
reason why I say word is that speech pathologists were all about words and talking.
Yes,
And back
yes,
when I was having a really hard time, and on my morning walks, before even Wine with Weeda existed, I would send video messages to my best friends to keep me
yeah,
accountable for exercising, but to
yeah,
be mentally accountable too. I'm like, Vula, okay, my word is hydrate because I haven't drank enough water. So I want to be accountable to hydrate for today. Or the
yeah.
next day is compassion. Rita, you're so
Mhm,
hard on yourself today, be more compassionate. So that behavior or that little
mhm,
activity every day made me follow my dreams, continued on this path because I applied something every day. So I took that and ask my
mhm.
guests all the time, if you were to be better tomorrow, Taylah, what's something you can change because today wasn't the best, but you want to
Yeah,
make tomorrow better? What word would that be?
I think patience.
Hmm. Why?
Yeah, patience. Just take your time.
But
Don't
why? Why
rush
for
it.
you specifically?
Oh, why for me specifically? Because I've gone through, a really trying time.
Mhm,
Um, and at the moment, I'm going through this really hard time with my health.
mm,
And I think I just thought, by this time I'll be better.
yeah,
Um, so I think for me now, it's just like, okay, just be patient with it.
yeah,
You'll be okay. Like there will come a
mm,
time where your time will come.
yeah.
Just you're
No
okay, be
expectations. Yeah.
patient. No expectations. Again, I go back to there's no timeline that I constantly like remind myself for that. But yeah, patience has been my word for
I
sure.
love that word. I
Be
love that
patient
word. So
for it.
patience. I
Be
think all of
patient.
us can have that word. I think all of us that
Be
can have that word.
patient.
And I love how you stressed it. Be patient.
Be patient. It's okay.
And for anyone who wants to reach out to Taylor just through your Instagram account,
Yes, my
yeah.
Instagram account.
If you don't mind, could you share that on here so if anyone listening? And I'll put it in the show notes as well for everyone to listen to
Mhm. So my Instagram is my name, so Taylah Ayyash. That's it.
with the at.
That's my
Only
Instagram.
on
With the
Instagram, anywhere else?
on Instagram. Only on
Oh, that's it?
Instagram. Yeah.
Okay,
Only got
beautiful.
on Instagram. Yes.
Taylor, from the bottom of my heart, sweetheart, thank you so much for your time and your beautiful story. I can't wait for it to ripple into the world, for it to just shine onto so many people. So love that you are on here and thank you again. For everyone else, if you want to reach Taylor, her Instagram handle will be in the show notes and all over my Instagram page. Thank you again, everyone, for listening to Wine with Weeda. Another episode will be brought to your ears really soon. Take care and God bless everyone. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Wine with Weeda. I hope you found some new inspiration, learnt something new, or gained a fresh perspective. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you please leave a 5-star review, as it really helps the show get in the ears of new listeners, plus it takes 5 seconds. If you're keen for more strategies and insights, then head over to Instagram and follow RS Speech Pathology.